Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Tyler, and today's video is entitled INTPs and NE Parent, All of the Possibilities. So I've discussed a lot on this channel about the INTP and all of their cognitive functions. A lot of these cognitive functions are not great. They can be a detriment to our lives. And I discussed in those videos how you can kind of turn that around, make your weaknesses into strengths, so to speak. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about NE, which can be a very attractive trait. It's the INTP's second best function behind TI. But as I'll discuss, I think this trait can be really underutilized, and that can really cause a lot of issues for us. We can get caught up in the TI-SI loop of death, like I'll discuss, and our NE can be completely ignored at times. But this is what we'll discuss today, the INTP and their NE parent, and how we can utilize this better to just improve our lives. Alright, before we get into things, I just want to quickly go over the INTP's cognitive function stack. This will kind of give you a better idea of where we're coming from as INTPs. Also, if you're trying to learn MBTI, this is really what you need to focus on is the cognitive functions. If you're trying to do like S versus N, T versus F, that sort of thing, you're going to get nowhere. What you really need to do is learn about the cognitive functions. Each type, what their stack looks like, and how that might make them behave. So first off here we have TI, hero. This is our best function. We base a lot of our decisions on logic, what the best logical answer might be. We are always trying to improve our worldview, taking in information, putting it into our TI, and trying to figure out the great mysteries of life. That's kind of what TI is about. NE, this is what we'll talk about more today on later slides. SI child, this is where we like to be really comfy. We don't really like to get out of our comfort zone. And this is what SI is all about. Comfort, duty, memory, that sort of thing. That's our third best function. FE and fear, this is kind of difficult to deal with as INTPs. This is our insecurity, the feelings of other people. So this can really make us feel out of place sometimes. It can make us feel like we don't quite fit into society. This can make us feel like we're socially awkward and that we don't, do well in conversations at times. But like I said on other videos, this is something you just eventually have to get over. This is really what could be holding you back in life, and it doesn't always have to be that way. TE nemesis, I'll be honest with you guys. I've made a video about every cognitive function so far after this video, except for TE. TE is still something I'm trying to learn about. But basically it's about just getting things done, externalizing your thoughts. So since this is our nemesis function, we can worry that we have the best ideas, we have great ideas, but it's just not going to work, we're not going to follow through, and that is very true sometimes. NI critic, this can be another very difficult thing to deal with. We're very critical of our own wants and desires. We can really criticize what our one true path can be in life. If we're in a situation where we're maybe negotiating, we're going to criticize what we're getting out of the situation as opposed to maybe what the other person is getting. And I have a separate video on this if you want to check it out. You just have to reject that, guys. You as an INTP deserve to get whatever you want, do whatever you want, and that's just how it is. SE trickster, this is our worst function. Even though it's not on the bottom of the stack, the trickster is the worst function of the type. So SE, what's this all about? This is about being in the moment, being in your face, conquering things, really using your senses to bring in information. So these are going to be, SE dominants are going to be your crazy people, like people that do like bike tricks and, say YOLO all the time. And this can be something that we really lack sometimes, being in the moment, bringing on conflict, doing that sort of thing. And then FI demon, finally, this isn't our worst function. We can see why FI is something that we should develop and need in our life, but it's still very poor. And if you activate the FI demon, it can be a bad situation. And I have a whole separate video about that on FI demon if you want to check that out. Alright, with all that being said, I want to move on to my first topic of the day, and that is the TI-SI loop of death, and why this can really be a detriment to our NE parent. So the TI-SI loop of death, if this is something you've never heard about, this is just where you're not doing anything in life. Things are just staying the same day in and day out. You're not going anywhere. You're not doing anything different. You're eating the same 5 or 6 things every single day. You're not talking to anybody new. You're not going out and exploring the world at all. Sitting in your chair all day, just letting your thoughts stew, just thinking. And like I said, SI is all about comfort. You're not doing anything whatsoever to get out of your comfort zone. And if somebody asks you to do something, maybe go out to dinner or anything like that, it can almost make you angry to have to do something because you're just stuck in this TISI loop of death and you can't find a way out. And while all this satisfies the INTP's need for comfort, it can be a very bad thing to get into. INTPs can spend much of their life stuck in this. I know I have spent, months stuck in this, not doing anything different. And it's honestly a terrible feeling. You feel like you're really getting nowhere in life. You're paying your bills, you're watching TV, you're talking to the same couple people you always talk to. Nothing different is happening. So this can feel like you're going nowhere in life. And all of the potential that you have inside of you is just going to waste. And because of this, people stuck in the TISI loop of death can experience depression, anxiety, and a sense of dread. You really have to ask yourself if staying in this comfort is really helping you feel better about your life. And I would implore you today, if you feel like you are stuck in this, if life just feels like it's going nowhere, you have to find a way out. And that's going to be a lot of what I talk about in this presentation. So as you can imagine, while INTPs are engulfed in this TISI loop of death, their NE is being either totally ignored or very underutilized. NE is all about exploring. NE is all about going out and learning new things. And I'll talk about NE on the next slide here, what exactly that is. But NE is a very good trait for us. We have to learn how to use this in a correct manner. We cannot go about our life ignoring this. If your NE is being ignored, you may still be looking into ideas, you might still be researching things, but you're taking no action on them. You're still being stuck in your chair. You might be looking into things that really have no bearing on anything. You're not having any new experiences or life events. Life is just slowly passing you by, and you're not exploring anything in the world. You're staying in your little bubble, and you just can't find a way to get yourself out. This can really make the INTP feel like they're missing out on things. Feel like other people out there is having a better life than them because they're seeing so much more things. They're having more life experiences. But it doesn't have to be this way. NE is your second best function. And as I'll talk about on a later slide, you can actually let this NE lead at times. If you want to be more extroverted, if you want to start experiencing life a little bit more, maybe you just need to let your imagination run wild and go out into the world to just experience whatever you can. All I'm saying is that if you're stuck in this TISI loop, life is not going to be fun. Things are not going to be great for you. And you have to find out ways to get yourself out of that. So like I've been saying, INTP stuck in this will value comfort over anything else. If somebody asks you to go out or do something, you almost feel mad at them for even asking you to get out of your comfort zone. And if you keep doing this all the time, people's eventually just going to stop asking you to do things. And don't get me wrong. Comfort is essential for the INTP to recharge. We're one of the most introverted types out there. We need our alone time. We need our time in our chair to just do nothing, spend time with our thoughts. But if you do this way too much, it's really going to limit your potential. So I think that's something you need to realize is that comfort, while needed, can also be very detrimental when it's used way too much. Alright, so after that I want to quickly go over the cognitive function NE, or extroverted intuition. So what is NE exactly? NE is concerned with different ideas, possibilities, as opposed to the one true path forward. Having a high NE can really lead to having a sense of wonderment towards life's great questions and mysteries. There's all these different possibilities out there. What are they? Are they better than my current position? Is there a better way of doing things? Is there a better way to make money, make friends, whatever? NE dominants are considered, some of the most attractive people out there. They can be true wanderers, seekers in this life. NE is really about playing devil's advocate, about arguing different sides, different points. It almost criticizes the one true path, the one answer. You might have your one answer, but what if there is a better answer? What if there's a better way of doing things? This is what NE is all about: exploring, wandering, seeking new things in life. So as you can imagine, and INTPs have a very big problem with this. People with high NE will struggle with completing projects without moving on to a new idea or new interest. And this can be a bad thing with NE. I've talked about how attractive it is. But if you have a lack of NI, the one true path, you're not going to be completing your projects very well. And I have a couple possible solutions on a later slide here at the end of the video. As INTPs, the way we use NE is to feed our TI hero with ideas. That way we can formulate a more complete worldview. Having a high NE can make us really doubt ourselves sometimes. Even though we have the best logical mind, the mind that can make sense of anything, this NE parent will come out of the background and say, well, what about this? Did you miss this? Is this different possibility a little bit better? But that's not always necessarily a bad thing. We need more ideas to feed our TI. We need more things to explore to really complete our worldview in the way that we see fit. So we have to use NE. We have to learn that NE is a good thing for us. Even though it has some problems sometimes, it's something that I really implore you to use more of in your life. Alright, with all that being said, I want to move on to my next topic here. Something I've been alluding to in this whole video so far, and that's NE parent can be an attractive trait if we use it correctly and if we actually use it at all. So INTPs, we can almost give off this childlike sense of wonderment due to this NE parent that we have. We are not rigid in our ways. We are always open to new ideas, new possibilities. We like to sometimes play devil's advocate in conversations. Besides that, we can always, in conversations, we may not be the best socially. But if we get into a conversation with somebody, we can start giving off all these crazy ideas, different possibilities, almost in a funny way. Like I mentioned, NE dominants are usually considered one of the most attractive type, especially INFPs. People can really get caught up in their mystery. They're willing to always do something new. They're always looking for new adventures, new things. And while it's not our dominant function, it is our second best function. So we can be this way too. If we can get out of the TISI loop of death, like I talked about, we can really let this flourish, and we can really let this, become a big part of our lives. Exploring the world, exploring our topics of interest, getting out there. This is not something that you want to repress, your NE parent. And like I already said, this can be heavily underutilized for INTPs. We can spend our lives, stuck in our minds, stuck in our chairs, not really doing anything. And this could be for a multitude of reasons. A big problem with INTPs is that sometimes we don't feel very confident in ourselves. We don't feel like we can go into a place where we don't really know anybody and do well. This makes us anxious. And this is due to the FE inferior. But you just have to get over this FE inferior, guys. This is what really can hold you back in life. You can't be afraid to go up and talk to strangers. You can't be afraid to go to a place where you don't know anybody. This is where you can really learn. This is where you can really grow. Just going out and letting your imagination run wild. We have to quit valuing comfort over everything else at times due to our SI child. If you have a week off work or you have some time off of work, I'd implore you today, just don't sit in your house all the time, playing video games, doing whatever you normally do. Take a random trip somewhere. Go somewhere. Do not let this NE parent go to waste. INTPs can sometimes wish that they were more extroverted, that they got themselves out there more. And you can do that by utilizing this trait. And that's really what this whole channel is about. As INTPs, we have TI Hero. We have the most logical minds there is. If we're presented with a very complex situation, we're among the best, if not the best, at figuring out a solution to that problem. So when it comes to MBTI, we can use this information to our advantage. We can really hack our lives, unlike other types who may just look at their stack and say, well, that's how I am. That's the hand I was dealt in life. But that is not the case with us. We can take this information and use it. Use it to hack our lives. I'm going to talk about this more on the next slide. The hack I'm giving you today is making yourself get out there more. Making yourself use this NE parent to death. Life is about more than just feeling comfortable all the time. You have to go out and explore things. That's what life is all about. Having experiences, learning new things, doing things that might make you uncomfortable. And, going through that uncomfortability and just accepting it and moving on and having fun. So this is a piece of information I want your TI hero to be fed today. That your NE is very likely being underutilized, and that, as I'm going to talk about, maybe sometimes we just need to let this lead sometimes. Maybe sometimes we just have to get ourselves out there and have fun. Alright, so my next topic here, can we let our NE lead? Can we strike down this need for comfort, this need to not feel socially awkward sometimes? And this is something I really think you should do if you feel like you're in a rut lately. If you feel like you're getting nowhere in life. Get out there. Let your NE lead a little bit. So like I said, one way the INTP can break out of the boring day-to-day life is to allow their wild imagination and need for exploration to take over. And that's your NE parent. Quit being so afraid all the time of going out and doing things. If there's a new restaurant out there that you want to try, just go. I don't care if you don't have anybody to go with or something like that. Just go out there and explore. If there's a place that you've always wanted to visit and you have some time off of work, just go. And it's not even all about that. It's about trying to talk to everybody that you come across, trying to learn their stories, trying to see if they have any new information that you can feed your TI hero with. Just be curious about everything. Always open up those new doors that you see and you're not sure what's behind it. Try new things. If you're not very good at cooking and you want to try cooking, order some meals online or something like that, and you can, try to cook more and learn about that. When's the last time you've been on a hike? When's the last time you went canoeing? Anything like that. Just try some new things. Get out of your comfort zone sometimes. Anything that you see that you want to explore, just do it. And when you're letting your NE lead, sometimes you might get yourself into a situation that your TI hero will just have to assist you to get out. You're letting your TI assist your NE. And this could be going on a trip somewhere with absolutely no plan. You don't know where you're going to go visit. You don't know where you're going to stay that night. You're just going to get there because that's something you want to do. And then your TI hero is going to figure it out for you. This life experience is good for you. These are stories that you'll be able to tell later. Get out there and try to join a local club or association. Who knows what the possibilities could be there. You can meet people that you'll have the rest of your life. You can meet some good friends. You could learn some information that might help you in your own endeavors. And if it doesn't work out, if you get there and you don't like it, leave. It's no big deal. What was the loss in that? Just a little bit of waste of your time. What was you going to do anyway? Play video games? Look up random things on YouTube? These are the life experiences I'm talking about. Just doing things that make you uncomfortable. Just for your own exploration. No reason whatsoever is needed sometimes. If you feel like you just need something in your life, if you need some new kind of adventure, some new kind of experience, just do it. Don't hinder that NE. Let it lead sometimes. And the thing about this is, I kind of mentioned this already, not only will this break you out of the TI-SI loop, the boring day-to-day, but it's also going to bring in more information for your TI hero. If you try to talk to everybody that you come across, this is automatically going to improve your social skills. Maybe make you feel a little bit less inferior when it comes to the feelings of other people. And you never know, if you join a local club or join a local association, this could bring new business opportunities, or it can bring the ability to build new relationships that you're looking for. The world out there is meant to be explored. It's meant to be researched. It's meant to give you experiences in life that you may have never had before. And the thing is, too, if you start acting this way, if you start doing things that are random, doing anything that you can to get out of your comfort, This is going to make you more attractive. You're going to come off as more of an ENTP, ENFJ, that sort of thing. And you're going to have so much more to talk about in conversations. You're going to have more stories that you can bring to the table. I'm not saying do this all the time. I'm not saying don't enjoy your comfort at all. But what I'm saying is, if you feel like you just need a break from this boring day to day, you are able to do it. You have the cognitive function ability to be able to go out there and explore. And at the end of the day, even if it doesn't work out, maybe you don't have that great of a time when you go out and get out of your comfort zone, but it's going to make yourself feel good. It's going to give you more confidence to know that you got out of your comfort zone. You did okay. It wasn't that big of a deal. Life becomes a little less daunting when you're able to just do things and not have any plan, not have a blueprint that you're going to follow. Let your TI hero just get yourself out of situations. And you're going to come back at the end of the day and say, wow, even though it may not have been that great of a time, I'm glad I did that. I got out there, I explored. I didn't waste my whole day doing absolutely nothing. So I think if you're an INTP watching this, you can really take this information and run with it. Get out of your comfort zone, go out and explore, do new things. And another thing with this, like I've been mentioning, if people ask you to do something, if people ask you to go out, I want you to get into the mindset of always trying to say yes. You never know what can happen really when somebody asks you to do something. Maybe you go to a restaurant with somebody and you meet somebody else. Maybe that person has some sort of business opportunity. I want you to quit thinking, well, I'm not going to go. I'd rather just stay here and do nothing. I'd rather not go out and have poor conversation with people and feel awkward. That can really hold you back in life. It can make you not do anything worthwhile. You're limiting your potential when you're not using your NE parent. So go out into the world confidently. Your TI hero is always there to back you up. And I think if you start doing more things like this, it will really improve your life and you'll really start to feel better about yourself. Alright, that brings me to my last topic of the day, problems with NE parent. This is something I do get quite a few comments about not being able to finish projects, things of that sort. So I've been talking about how great NE parent can be if you use it correctly. But one thing that it can do to us, it can cause a severe lack of finishing projects, ideas to completion. And I think if you're an INTP watching this, you really understand that. You get into something, you really dive into it. And it seems like, maybe a couple weeks later, something like that, you don't even care about that anymore. It doesn't even pique your interest. You've already moved on to something new without finishing your previous thing. And later on you might think, wow, why did I stop that? That could have been a beneficial thing if I had seen that through. And I'll be honest with you guys, I personally struggle with this all the time. I get into a new project or an idea and something new just pops up. I mentioned in one of my other videos how I can't even remember the last time I finished a book. I start reading a book, it has some really good information, things that can really help me, and it probably would be very beneficial for me if I just kept reading it to completion. But I can't find the way to do that. I always see something else that I want to read, some new idea that I need to explore. And I never end up going back and finishing. And even if I try, I almost forget half of the things I read already. It's something that I really struggle with. But as INTPs, this is our wheelhouse, solving complex issues. So how can we solve this? What are some ideas that we can do to try to get out of this, to finish projects to completion? I'll be honest with you guys, I don't have a great answer for this. I do have a few thoughts though. My first thought here is do a project that can bring a tangible benefit to you. If you really convince yourself that doing this project can bring you a benefit, that might help you get motivation to keep doing it. So can this thing that you're researching or this project, can it help you make money eventually? This could be something like the stock market. I started investing in stocks in 2016 and I haven't stopped. I check my positions almost every day to try to refine things, try to make more money in the stock market. Cryptocurrency is another thing to invest in. If you get into these things and really keep researching it, keep refining your ideas, this is something that you can eventually make money with and improve your life. Can the project eventually make money, like a YouTube channel, writing a book, programming? All these sort of things can eventually help you make money. And these are good projects to get into because you have a reason to keep going. And it's not even all about money. Can these projects help you build relationships? Is this something that you can meet new people down the line, develop new friendships? As far as this channel goes, I plan on making a Discord sometime in the future where we can connect, where we can talk to each other, possibly build relationships. That can be a big problem with INTPs. We really don't feel like we belong to a community or a social group. So that is a plan in the future that I have to try to build a community where we can communicate, where we can share ideas. Who knows, maybe we could meet up in the future. You never know what can happen. But I think if you keep this in the back of your mind, if a project can really benefit you in some way, that will give you the motivation you need to keep going. So you need to really quit spending time on ideas that have nothing to do with anything. You need to research things that are actually helpful and can be used to improve your life sometime down the line, possibly. What kind of content are you watching on YouTube? Are you watching things that could possibly help you, or are you just watching stupid stuff that has nothing to do with anything? You really need to start choosing projects that you have a reason to complete. If you're doing something that really has no benefit, has no possible positive outcome in the future, there's honestly no reason to be doing it, and you're eventually just going to stop doing it and move on to something else. So this is one way that I think you can start to finish projects better, is by making sure that this project will give you some sort of benefit in the future. And also, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to become the sage. I'm trying to fill my brain with ideas on how to live, how to have a better life, how to help a certain MBTI type if they're in a bad situation. I want to become the person that people come to me for answers if they need something. And this is honestly going to take some time. This is not going to happen overnight. I don't really feel like you can become wise until you're later on in life. So this would be doing things like reading books on self-help, reading books such as Atomic Habits, 12 Rules of Life by Jordan Peterson. These sort of books can really give you benefits that can not only help yourself, but you can possibly tell somebody else, one of your loved ones or friends, and it can help them in the future. Study philosophy. This is something else I like to look into from time to time. You know, those philosophers back in the day, they were trying to figure out the best way to live their life. The thing that will bring the most happiness, the thing that will bring fulfillment. And as you get into all these different ideas, your TI hero is going to be able to soak in that information and start forming a better worldview on how you should live, how other people should live. My most popular video on this channel so far is the INTP's true purpose, the sage. This is what I believe we need to work towards, to become this almost wizard-like character. We don't necessarily care how the world works, what the world does. We need to find out for ourselves what works for the world, what works for us as INTPs. And this kind of goes back to the beneficial things. Can your project do something beneficial for you? Whether that be money, relationships, having just your own good set of knowledge. I think these are some ways that you can begin finishing projects before starting new ones, or at least, coming back to it every now and then to see it through completion. But just to summarize the video, NE parent is a good trait for you. It's an attractive trait. You need to realize this. You need to use it more. You need to get out into the world. Quit letting your other functions rule your life. And I honestly think if you do that, you will see improvements in your life and your general feeling of well-being. Well, that's all I have for today, guys. I really appreciate you watching. Please like the video if you found it helpful or informative. That does always help with the YouTube algorithm. As always, please comment below with your thoughts. Do you disagree with something I said? Do you think I'm stupid? You can always let me know. And I always appreciate the kind comments saying how these videos help you. That really motivates me to keep making videos and to keep producing content like this. Like I mentioned, I plan on very soon in the future making a Discord community for this channel. This can be a place where we can feel ourselves, we can feel like we belong. So this is a project that I plan on starting, and I hope it does someday become a success. So if you're interested in that, please just comment below. I'll also leave my email in the description if you want to let me know if you're interested in that. You can also email me with any questions. Maybe you have a story you want to tell me. I plan on possibly making videos about that sometime in the future. So like I said, I'll leave my email below if you want to contact me for any reason. That is the way to do it. So with all that being said, I really appreciate you guys watching, and have a great day.